Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Software Testing. Still Daniel Knott here, and I'm happy that you're watching today's video. You have seen the title already. Today I would like to talk about 13 misconceptions about software testing, and I bet you have heard many of them as well, and if not, you maybe learned something new, or you were lucky because you haven't heard, or you were never conflicted or confronted with those misconceptions about software testing. As always, leave a like, leave a thumbs up, leave a subscription if you would like to support me. And I would also be really happy if you can share the video with your network, because it's really cool to get so many great feedback from the people who are doing this, and the feedback that I got regarding, hey Daniel, you're doing so much great work in terms of educational work for software testing, and also how you contribute to the software testing community. And I know that there are many more people out there who can benefit from my videos, and I would love to see that and to help you all out. So let's jump right into today's video, the misconceptions. So what is the first one? The first one is software testing is just finding bugs. Yes, I bet all of you have heard it already. People with no knowledge about software testing, they think that software testers are just finding bugs, clicking around, breaking things, and don't do anything like that. And we all know that this is not true, right? We're doing a lot of stuff like risk mitigating, asking questions, critical thinking, going for the whole team quality approach and mindset and stuff like that, doing test automation, quality coaching and whatnot. So this is a completely wrong thing about software testing. Yeah. So in case you think that software testing is just finding bugs, educate yourself, go into testing community and see what they are doing. It's great stuff. Hey, sorry for the break, but I think you will like the break. You know, if you're following my YouTube channel already, that I'm constantly checking the tools market for test automation vendors to give you the best possible insight into the industry. And today I found a really great cloud-based robust test automation framework or tool, which is called TestWheel. TestWheel is a cloud-based software for automated testing for web and mobile applications. With the help of TestWheel, you can test your applications on different levels of the tech stack, from functional testing to API testing. Additionally, you can load and performance test to ensure that your web or mobile application just work as expected. TestWheel is super easy to set up. It only takes a few minutes and you can start configuring your application under test. TestWheel is very user-friendly and easy to learn. It has 3 steps: plan your tests, build your test scripts, and execute them. On top of all the mentioned features, TestWheel offers a great feature set. Their self-healing technology, TestWheel automatically detects and fixes test scripts changes on the fly. It ensures that your test scripts are always up to date with your application under test. Say goodbye to flaky tests. At the same time, TestWheel offers integrations into AWS. It offers great reporting features to oversee the whole quality status of your application. To speed up your test automation, TestWheel offers Google Cloud Chrome plugin to record your test scripts with ease. If you're looking for a new test automation solution that is easy to use, powerful in its features, and can be integrated into your tech stack, check out testwheel.com to learn more about the options and possibilities you have. Check the video description down below for further information and to follow up the links for TestWheel. And now back to the main video. So what is the second one? The second one is software testing is an afterthought. Yeah. Also something that I have seen myself in my early years in software testing, that okay, we're coding, and then we do testing just before go live. And then we all know what's going to happen. Testing is the bottleneck, and it's just too late that we start with testing, and so forth and so forth. And you have heard all about the shift left movement, right? And I also did a video about shift left testing. Check it out to see like what is the benefit of starting very early in the process, in asking questions, working towards the product discovery phases with the product managers, and also be aligned with product roadmaps and these kind of topics. So go ahead and check it out. The third one is anyone can do software testing. Hooray! Yes, it's kind of true. Yes, everybody could do software testing. But also it's similar thing like the misconception number one that like, hey, software testing is just finding bugs, is the same thing that people think that software testing is not like a skilled job, that you have to have skills there regarding communication, technical skills and stuff, so that everyone who is out there can do software testing. Of course, partially it's true, because users also using your product and giving, in best case, some feedback. They test your product and see if it's valuable and beneficial for them. But this is not the case for real software testing. If you really like to dig deep into the process on how you do software development and how software will be built, what are technical challenges, this requires a lot of skills. Yeah. Misconception number 4. Software testing guarantees 100% bug-free software. Yes, quality assurance, right? Let's assure the quality. And yeah, I usually bring that example. If something bad is being coded in the beginning, you cannot test in quality. I mean, that's also something that you hear in the software testing community quite often, so that we cannot test quality into the product. We have to code it in, we have to plan it in, we have to improve our processes and stuff to get really good software. And software testing cannot guarantee 100% bug-free software. The moment you push the button to release to production, there are bugs. There are bugs everywhere, and it's just that software testing and the software development team should invest enough time to think about quality, how the product should be used, how the product should be released and stuff, and how the product will be used by customers in the long run. And then to see what are critical parts, how can we mitigate the risks in those areas that the software is working, let's say in 90%, 95%, maybe 99% of the time, but there will be always something happening. Be aware of that. Misconception number 5. Automated testing is better than manual testing. Yay! Let's automate all the things. We have heard it. I know it, that you have heard it already. There are also some funny memes out there. Hey, let's automate all the things. We don't need testers anymore. What? I mean, come on. It's just wrong. I mean, automation is important, but testing is more important, I would say, because the skilled software tester can bring so much more value than any automation to a team. And also, I've also done a video lately about like when to automate and when not to automate. You can find it in the video description below or in my video sections as well. Like, automation has to be planned, and if automation is done wrong, it's not really helpful for the team, for the product. So that's why you cannot say it's better or worse than manual testing, but the right balance is important to get rid of that misconception. Okay, what do we else to have? Number 6, software testers are responsible for quality. Of course we are. We like quality. We like quality products, but we are not responsible for the overall quality. The whole team, the company should be responsible for, or is responsible for, the quality. As I said, if everyone in the team is doing his or her good job, that it's like really, it's like a machine going hand to hand over, and then quality is something that comes out of at the end. But in case a product manager is doing a bad job and he or she is not planning for specific cases or requirements, developers coding wrong stuff in, testers test the wrong stuff, and then we don't have a good quality product. And even though in the end, if the software tester is doing a great job and he or she finds a lot of stuff, yeah, it should not be the only person responsible for it. Especially also if you have teams where there's only one tester in the team and multiple developers, it cannot be the case that only this person should have the head on for like, hey, he or she is responsible for quality. Nope, it's a shared responsibility and something that you have to have in mind. Yeah. Misconception number 7. Software testing is time-consuming and expensive. Yes, true. It's not a misconception, but yes, in some cases it is, because software testing is time-consuming. Yes, that's for sure. But if you plan it right, and if you really make a plan, a strategy that aligns with the roadmap, with the development processes and stuff, it is the similar effort and investment as for development. So it's not more time consuming. And the same for the expensive part, right? I mean, of course, people would like to earn a salary, so you have to pay for them, you have to have licenses and stuff, and the time investment costs some money, but it's not a wasted money, right? It's important to have these topics in your company to get a really good product. Misconception number 8, testing is a standalone activity. Of course it is, right? I mean, just go put one person in the team and this person will do testing on his or her own. Yeah, it's not the case. I mean, again, if you're more experienced in the software development area and you have worked more years in different companies, industries or environments, you know that this is not a standalone activity. I mean, look at all the things that a software tester can do in a team. Is like creating test cases, executing them, test strategy, test planning, test data, test environments, test automation, risk mitigating or risk storming and asking critical questions and so forth. And there's even more stuff that people in the testing space can do. And one person should handle all those topics that I just mentioned. It's not cool. It's not possible. So that's why I'm always advocating for the shared responsibility of the quality mindset in a team, so that developers are enabled to write test automation. Developers should be enabled to ask critical questions in terms of quality, risks and stuff. So this is something that a team has to learn over time. Yeah. Misconception number 9, a good test suite can test everything. Of course, yeah, write it once, run everywhere, and it's never touch it again. Yeah, that's wrong. And with test suite here, I mean, I really like test automation, test frameworks, and yeah, things that you have written once or like you have written in terms of automation, depending on the tech stack and layer. It's also not true. And it's also in a similar direction as misconception number 1, that everybody can test in a team, or that that stuff that you're doing or like that you have done once can run forever, right? But also test automation and the same like test frameworks, they have to be maintained. They have to be like to take care about. You have to really invest time and money to keep them up and running, because it's test code should be treated similar as production code, right? And that's why it's important that you invest the time there. And if you have a good test suite, it can test a lot of things, not everything, I would say, because looking at the complete product stack and the complexity of your product, it might not be the case that you can automate all the complexity that you have in your system. And I also would not recommend to do that, because it costs a lot of time and money and it's prone to be flaky. So that's why testing everything with a good test suite isn't something that you should go for. I mean, make a plan, know your system, take it from there and see what can you cover with your test suites in order to get a good product quality out there. Misconception number 10, testing is only needed for new features. Yes, of course not, right? I mean, the moment you add something new, you should definitely invest time in quality and testing and test automation, but also the existing part should work and should still work. And the moment a developer changes one line of code, he or she can completely destroy the whole architecture, bring down servers, can completely ruin everything, and that's important to have in mind. Regression testing is also something that you as testers, developers should focus on. And regression testing is a perfect thing for automation, right? Nobody likes to repeat him or herself all over the time, multiple times a day. So really take a look at your test cases, the test scenarios, the complexity that you have, and also the user journeys, for example, that you have in your product, and see what you can automate to make sure that in case you change something, you can run it and you know exactly that the system is working and still working as expected. Yeah. So that's why you have to test all the time, everything. Yeah. Misconception number 11 is software testers break software. Yes, of course, we're breaking software. And I see, no, we're not actually, because I don't know who said it, I can't remember the name right now, but there was one quote on a conference like, software testers don't break software, they just break the illusions that the software is working. Yeah, and that's actually the case, right? I mean, we don't break anything. The software was broken before, and that's I think a really bad misconception about testing, because it has such a bad attitude to our craft and such a negative vibe. Like, oh, there's this person, he or she's breaking the software all the time, and blah blah blah. And it sounds funny in some cases, and I have seen also still testers in the community telling or have them in their LinkedIn profile or wherever social media, I'm breaking software. It's like, oh no, you're not. Yeah, we don't break it. It was broken before. We just make it visible that the software was broken or is broken, and we just tell the people who build it, like, hey, there's a problem, let's go and fix it. And I also don't like to use it because I don't like to have this negative thing what I just mentioned when you work with developers, and they should not have the feeling saying, okay, there's Daniel coming and he's always so negative, he's breaking my work, and it's not a good vibe and not a good feeling, right? And that's why try to avoid it. Yeah? Misconception number 12: software testers don't have and don't need technical skills. Yeah, that's also wrong. I mean, of course, if you have only testing skills in terms of non-technical automation or any API requirements or whatever skill in mind, some people still think that software testers are just like clicking and tapping around, and they don't have the skills and they don't need them. But I'm always recommending people, especially when they start in software testing, to learn about, not like directly jump into learning a programming language, for example, but go into technical analysis, try to understand systems. What is the tech stack? How is something working? How is a client-server communication working? Really basic technology, computer science stuff. Learn this information. Then you get like really good the connection between the systems, how they are interconnected. And then based on that technical knowledge, you can see for your context and for your industry what matters for you, right? And maybe it matters for you to learn all about a programming language and a new framework that you can use to automate things. Maybe it's more important to know more business knowledge and technical knowledge for your domain, and you can do a great job in exploratory testing. But the misconception we should get rid of is that we need technical skills at some point, but it really depends on the context, on the industry that we're working on. So we have skills, a lot of skills as software testers, and we have a lot of technical skills as well. And last but not least, the 13th misconception is testing is just writing test cases. Oh my God, yes, I have heard it as well. Oh, the tester is just writing the test cases, executing them, and that's it. That's an easy job. Everybody can do it. Yeah, no, it's wrong. I mean, test cases got a bit like, let's say, outdated in the community and old-fashioned. But I mean, there's so many industries still that requires test case documentation, test case planning because of complex architectures, complex development processes, and also for traceability and for regulated environments. You need to have test cases. And just writing test cases sound boring in the first place, but again, depending on the context and depending on the need, it can be a really challenging task to think about the cases that you have in mind or that the software has to cover and stuff like that. And that they also bring a lot of value, transparency to a development team, to a company, maybe also to customers, to show them like, hey, look, these are cases we covered and we can assure you that those cases are working out. And some maybe not, right? And when I started with software testing in 2008, was 8 and 9, yes. I wrote a lot of test cases, and to be honest, I really enjoyed it because for me it gave me really a clear structure of what the things that I should do. I could try out the product that was already partially built there. I was following the development process refinements to gather information, and then I was writing down the information, share those information with the developers. They knew already, hey, that stuff that is Daniel going to test. They were already like writing the unit test for it. They were testing it themselves. And in the end, I was really happy because many of the cases that I covered were already covered by the developers. And that's great, right? It saves a lot of time and time for testing more complex stuff. So testing is not just about test cases. It's a tiny bit of work that we have to do, or maybe we can do. In case you don't need to write test cases in your setup, use mind maps, use, I don't know, one-page test plan, session sheets, exploratory testing to add value in terms of testing requirements for your team, for your company. And don't spend too much time in writing test cases in that case. So it depends on your context again. And with that was my last misconception. I mean, I think we could easily add another 10 here. And yeah, that's exactly my question to you. Like, what are your misconceptions that you have seen in your current environment, in your career? What do you think about the upcoming misconceptions? Maybe now with all of the AI topics coming around, I can clearly hear already new misconceptions about testing and AI. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching today's video. As always, like it, share it, and subscribe it. That's the word I was missing. Thanks for your support and see you soon. Bye bye.